go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a regular Commissioners Court meeting for County of Starr, Monday, March 8th. Let the record show that we do have quorum, everyone being present. Would everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comment or anything?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, we do have the minutes in front of you. Time. You want to approve? Move in second to approve the minutes, discussion. All in favor, please aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next thing is the vendors list.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. You should have a copy of the vendors list in front of you. There's 5 new vendors. We've reviewed them and we recommend that you approve.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Move in second to approve, discussion. All in favor, please aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is claims, Mr. President.
Sir, again, you should have a copy of the claims list in front of you. I believe 15 pages. We've reviewed those claims and we recommend that you approve.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the reports, and I believe most of those you have in your packet. If you don't have any questions, I guess you all can call the respective department heads. Mr. President, I guess if you could go over yours.
You should have a copy of the report for the month of February 2021, which is the 5th month of the fiscal year. So I'll get to those.
Is that in our packet?
Should be in your packet, sir.
Not read that? Okay. Okay, Mr. President.
All right, so on page 1, we've got the reconciled balances of the general fund at $5,268,573.21, road and bridge fund at $1,428,422.15, and the payroll clearing fund at $365,060.39. Part 2 reflects the expenditure reports for the general fund as of February 28, 2021. As a percent of the year elapsed, as of February 28, 2021, 151 days had elapsed, or 41.37%. In summary, the general fund expended year to date is $7,750,666, or 40.51%, slightly below that 41.37% for the year. Breakdown of several departments are reflected at the bottom of page 1 and continued through page 2. The departments exceeding the 41.37% are reflected in bold. On page 3, part 3 reflects the expenditure report for the road and bridge fund, again as of February 28, 2021. In summary, the amount expended year to date is $2,319,706, or 37.92%, again below the 41.37% for the year elapsed. Below that, you see a breakdown of the numbers of some of the departments within the road and bridge consolidated fund. The remainder of page 3 and continue through page 4, we have a year-to-date summary of the revenue reports for the general fund and for the road and bridge fund. The year-to-date revenues collected are $10,090,212, or 52.74% of budget, and $4,094,951, or 66.94% respectively. Page 5 reflects a summary of revenues and expenses for the enterprise fund, again as of February 28th. The International Bridge reflects revenues of $653,420 with expenditures of $914,182. Again, keep in mind that $291,668 of the expenditures are reflective of the remaining 7 months of participation with Roma, which has already been encumbered as a recurring expense. If we take that out, the result for the bridge is an excess of $30,906. The gas operating system reflects year-to-date revenues of $409,068 with expenditures of $305,596, or an excess of $103,472. And finally, the solid waste transfer station reflects year-to-date revenues of $478,182 with expenditures of $555,269, a deficit of $77,087. Page 6 reflects a summary of debt owed as of February 28, 2021. The total current balance is $1,752,889. Any questions on any of that?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Moving on with our agenda, item 8 is a action item, and this is to waive or fire inspections for control burn. Commissioner Pettis approached me with this, and I think it does have a lot of merit. Commissioner Moore,
Yeah, we've been charging a fee for all those that are cleaning their properties, agriculture, and there's been a lot of complaints that they haven't been showing up, or that they have trouble with getting in touch with the fire marshal. So I was wondering if we could waive at least the agriculture fee.
you know, what it is that, if you all recall, when we passed the fire inspection for the fee schedule, it went down through everything, and it certainly is something that we can use. However, on the control burn permit, the line clearing, there's a $50 charge, and there's other things that go along with it. And I think maybe to help out our agriculture, or ranchers, or whatever, if we could do away with that, because really it does not create a hazard for the ranch. Usually they've plowed, they've raked, they've gotten everything together, and then they burn, so.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Your Honor, hold on. Commissioner, I gotta, let's say that somebody, any person out there, tears down a bunch of brush, in their place, and they can burn it right then and there. Are we gonna charge those people to go?
Yes,
We're discussing only matter with dealing with ranches, right?
correct, yes.
No,
but-
No, no brushes that they're gonna rake and plow and make a root plow
Yeah,
and all
wait a
that.
minute, Commissioner, wait a minute. I mean, if somebody go cleans up their lot there and they can burn it there, I mean, you go charge them, if not, they won't pull them out to the road, and then we have to pick it
Yeah.
up.
Because tú estás hablando of houses. Los
No,
lotes
no household, the people that clean up the brush in their houses, lots, or
Por
whatever.
eso, this doesn't have anything to do with that. This has to do with the ranches out
Yeah,
there.
but are we charging these people
Yes,
a fee?
Eso sí.
yes, yeah.
Porque now that we do need the fire marshal or anybody out there, porque anybody that burns, if they don't burn in the morning, let's say they burn in the afternoon, and there's some kind of northern coming in or a southern air or something, and the fire moves on to another house or anything, that's the problem.
Commissioner, the way I do it, we have control burning in the rural areas.
In the rural areas. Esto pasa para los
Le
ranchos.
hablan a los bomberos y te están cuidando.
Pues sí, pero acá en los ranchos están un montón juntos, no hay nada alrededor que se prenda. Eso es lo que estamos
And I
hablando.
think that's the reason for the difference in fees. When, let's say I knock down clean up my trees now that they're frozen, and I wanna burn them, well, then the fire department needs to be there to make sure I don't burn my house. But out in the ranch, I mean, nothing's gonna burn because it's plowed.
No, I agree with that, I agree with
Tipo puro
that.
rancho.
But we are charging, if I wanna burn at the house, there is a fee. If you get approved by the fire department to do a control burn. So the fire department has to approve it before I can burn. But if they say, yeah, go ahead and burn, then they can assess the fee for that. Now, that's up to the court. You know, we can do away with that if you all feel like doing it, but I think it gives it a little more control to the fire marshal, as to how to handle
Yeah,
it.
in the city of Roma, you can't burn anything inside the city,
Yeah.
nada.
So anyhow, that's what that item is to waive the $50 fee for controlled burn in land clearing.
But this, it's gonna, mejor the way it was stated, maybe we need to state it for only rural areas or any ranches pertaining to clearing out land for cattle use or something. ¿Entiendes? Porque the way it's written here, it's very vague.
Or we could, you know, much like subdivisions, anything over 10 acres, controlled burn, there'll be no fee. Anything under that, which is usually more residential, there'll be a fee.
Okay, so you wanna, do we table this one and restate it for the next one, or do I just?
We can, you know, in the
In
motion.
my motion.
Yeah, you can take it, amend it, and
We'll
whatever.
amend the motion, right?
Monday?
We amend the motion?
Right.
Okay, so what do you want it to state?
No podemos lo que digan, eso de 10
Okay.
acres and over.
Yeah, 10 acres, 5 acres, whatever you want.
Yeah,
Okay, I make my motion
so let's make to 5 acres.
to amend, for burn, the control burn, to waive it, if and only if there's 10 acres or more.
5 acres.
5 acres or more? 5 acres or more.
Okay.
Does that sound, for everybody, that sound good? 5 acres or more. So anybody that's gonna burn 5 acres or more, they're gonna get waived the fee for control ban, as long as it's cleared. And then if they can only burn any rake on where they have it stationed. Vamos a decir, let's say they have 4 or 5 stations of brush, that's where they can burn. They cannot burn and there's brush around it. They need to be very careful on that. Porque si se viene un noro y que prende todo.
They still need to notify
The fire marshal.
The fire marshal.
Okay, that's my motion.
Fire department.
Fire department to amend, okay, I'd like to make a motion to amend and waive the fire marshal fees and fire inspections for control bans of 5 acres or more, but fire marshals do have to be advised for fire departments.
Is there a second to that?
I take it.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You got that in
Agarrate, pero-
there? Okay, okay, item number 9, this is, again, to open up a new account for fire marshal fees. These fees that are being collected and whatever other fees there is, need to go into a special account, for the fire marshal. So, you know, we're asking for an account to keep those monies separate from any of the county monies.
Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 is a resolution in support of Texas Tech University National Science Foundation proposal entitled Development of Resilient for Rio Grande Valley. This had been submitted before, but they're asking that we resubmit. The 4 counties in the valley is being passed. I think you have a copy of that in your minutes.
Your Honor, could you explain a little bit more?
Sure.
I never heard about this.
Okay, hold on, let me get it. Yeah, we have a copy of it in your agenda. What this is the, the second call, I guess the ones that are asking for this is Cameron County, and they're asking for our support on it too. And this is for, like I mentioned, for the 4-county region in the valley, as far as hydraulic, social dynamics, social climate. It's more like a study that will be done in the valley. They're applying for a planning grant, and they're asking collaboration from all of us, from the 4 counties, so that they can do the studies on everything related from, it's like a roadmap for social dynamics, hydrology, hazard threats, climate change, anything that's happening in the valley. This is what this study will be addressing. And they're asking just a support letter saying that we support this study. It's not costing us anything. They're just applying for a study grant.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Who are these people?
Texas Tech University,
Texas Tech.
of the logo.
The logo?
Yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11 is also a short-term contract for consulting services with ARV Business Services in connection with the annual county audit. Mr. Pettis, you want to discuss that?
Yes. This is a contract that we're looking at entering into for consulting services to get us caught up with the audits. We had previously approved one, and that didn't work out due to our external auditors feeling that their independence would be impaired. And so we discontinued that engagement, and this is someone that we found.
So you already got rid of the first one?
Yes.
How much are we talking about per hour?
We haven't done that yet.
You haven't done the numbers.
We don't have a
You
contract.
ready to get started?
Yeah.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12 is an action item, and this is, we go through this, I think, every year. As you all know, we collect the taxes for South Texas College here in Starr County, and they pay us 3.5%, whatever we collect for them, that comes into our coffers. And they're asking for the same contract that we've had in the past.
For those who move, I second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 is an action item, and is to be approve acceptance of Rio Delta Engineering of the engineering firm selected to prepare all preliminary and final designs for the CDBG grant.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's for the new application that's coming up in May the 3rd. That was the only engineer that submitted an RFQ for this application.
What is the amount?
There is no amount right now, it's just a percentage. If we get the contract from the state, then we go into a contract with the engineer.
Which, what percentage is
It's 12% usually, 12% for engineering and 3% for geotechnical testing. Until we get the contract from the state, then we negotiate with them. But right now, we need an engineer in place for the application.
But you don't have a set fee.
No, we don't, until we get the
Until we get the
contract.
contract.
But it has been for the past 5 years, but the 15% including the geotechnical, because it's hired by them. So it's 15%, 12% for engineering and 3% for the geotechnical.
For the percentage for what?
For the testing, we get everything.
The soil test.
Todo pues, las partes y todo.
No,
Ya cacha, tú sabes.
no más quiero ver para ver cómo está.
Ah,
Yo nomás viene que aventan aquí un papel y ahí está. Espérate.
No, we
Y él no quiere
advertised
contestarte.
we advertised 2 weeks, we sent to 5 different engineering companies, via regular mail with return receipt, asking them that we had this in place.
You know,
So this was the only engineering company
Yeah,
that submitted
you
an
know.
RFQ.
And we get, I get some calls of people wanting to apply, but there's no use to apply. We know who's doing videos, All I can do is try.
Yes, and that is what we do. That's why we sent, the to 5 different companies in McAllen the request for qualifications, and we're advertising and all that.
Yeah.
So we give them the opportunity, and of course, we post it online too.
Yeah, no, but they, you know, if there's no use to apply, we don't, who's gonna get it, so, huh? If you don't apply, you won't get it either.
Correct. We had in the past other engineers, interested, but not this time.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second to approve, and item 14 is on the same thing. This is to approve a contract between Starr County and Rio Delta, but I guess that contract,
Yeah, the first one was to select them, and then we need an approval for the contract.
okay,
To be
but the
executed.
contract, we need to see the contract before. we-
I believe you have it in the package.
Okay, and I guess that's what Commissioner Garza was asking.
Yes, and it's just a 12, it's by percentage, and then we revise it once we get the contract.
But,
And this one would be for just application, because they have
Okay,
to
so
help
this
us.
contract is for them to apply.
We apply, but we need, the engineer to help us with the table 1 and table 2 of the construction,
Right.
the estimates and all that, and the maps. So if we do not get the contract from the state, we don't pay them anything.
we understand that. We
That's
understand all that. But what I'm trying to say that, we, you know, it's, I think when you go do it to contracts, you can, at least I do that. When I hire somebody for something, I need to know ahead of time what it's gonna cost me.
Yes, correct. You have it there right now. It'll be percentage only, you know, up to the 100%.
So the contract calls for 15% of whatever we get.
Yes. Yeah, in the application, we can pay up to 25, but then we usually get
Yeah.
the negotiation. Once we get the money, then we come back to you and we revise this specific contract to have
So
numbers.
CDBG allows us to negotiate with the engineers no more than 25%.
Correct. And that's when you negotiate.
And what we've negotiated in the past is 15%.
Correct. So once we get the money from the state and we have a contract, then we come back to you and revise this specific contract. Right now, we just need to have one on file.
Well, that's
That's
what
an
I
engineer.
mean, but he's already started doing some work on it to apply for the grant.
Not at this one. Right now, we're doing, you know, the paperwork, the resolutions that are coming up, all the application
That
process.
brings up another question, Rosie, and the audit.
Okay.
If the audit is not in place, can we apply for this?
No, sir. This has to be in place.
Okay, so when's the deadline to apply?
May the 3rd,
Of this year?
yes.
We're not gonna have it.
We want to have everything in
You
might-
place.
We will?
May the 19th.
Oh, May, so estamos en March.
May.
Okay, está bueno.
So we want to have everything in place, just in case. You know, we have everything. We have all the beneficiaries already, we have all the maps, we have it ready. You know, if it doesn't work out, then that's fine, but we'll have it ready for submit. And we already have all the screens and we're working on the beneficiaries.
No, pero yo voy a presentar todo.
Is there a motion to go ahead?
Motion to approve the contract.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ruiz.
Motion carries.
¿Eso me ha dado alguno o qué?
Me están tirando el brazo de la otra guacho.
No, yo pues quería pues, fuerza campo para hacer más, pero dije que no me puede.
Yeah, with CDBG, it's very hard. to
But
get
can it be done? It's very hard, or can it?
It can't, we asked, remember last time we submitted a lot of paperwork and they do not recommend us to do it.
Well, I mean, something that they recommend and something that we want to do
Yeah.
is totally different story. Can it be done? That's what I'm saying.
And yes, it can be done. The only thing, it affects us in our scoring points, and we're afraid of not getting enough points to get approval and awarded. for
Well,
the contract.
but we have a generous agreement
Yes.
as far as
So-
scoring, so we still get it.
It doesn't, we're
Yeah.
not getting
If
competition.
Commissioner Garza wants to do,
4 seconds.
Forza Cup,
We can submit.
yeah, submit it for work.
Okay,
Because I already checked and they told me, yes, it can be done. But I'm
Yes.
just, you know,
yeah, we can submit.
That's right, you know, the only thing that might happen is that instead of being on the first batch, we'll be in the second batch, but we're still gonna get it.
pues es como que, well, I mean,
Yeah, no, pues,
Okay,
that's
we can
what
submit.
that's what we'll do,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, item 15 is an action item, and this is to appoint Ms. Salinas as labor standard officer for CDBG. Is there a motion for that?
Who's it?
Monday?
Rosie.
Rosie.
It's on the existing contract
Oh,
right now.
okay, because it was like,
For the labor center, we're going out on bids on that one, and we work on the payrolls and all that.
it doesn't move.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to approve resolution authorizing the county of Starr to submit the CDBG application to the Department of Agriculture. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve, Your Honor. Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, motion carried. Item 17 is to approval of any temporary election workers for the upcoming city of Bedoya elections.
They brought the list.
Who selected these people?
I guess,
I was gonna ask, was this submitted by the city or this is our bill?
well, they just brought it from you, the judge from the elections office.
And it's the same, the same family, or what?
They told, no, Cárdenas.
I mean, when, are these here from La Cruz? No.
I don't know, you know, one thing I had talked to John, in fact, last week, is that we need to hire different people, not only family members of the elections.
Well, it is on their letterhead of the county.
Esto es tu terreno.
Pues yo sé, pero pues como que
But we
the
can
city had a
table it.
chance to
We can
have an
table-
input or not.
Rubén hija es del HB.
Por Rubén, que es el manager.
¿Quién?
Este es de
Ah,
las
sí.
flores.
Sí, Rubén Isla.
¿Rubén qué?
Isla.
Yeah.
¿Es el manager de HB?
Sí.
¿Dónde es el resto de comisión organiza, no?
¿Eres seguro de lo que debe pasar?
No, pues este no.
O sea, tu vida está en la grulla.
No, sí, pero usted, city, I don't, el mayor debe estar aquí para
And the city's the one that's gonna be paying for this, you know,
Judge, if you'd like, we can just skip over it, come back to it at the end of today's meeting. I can contact John, see who recommended them or where they're coming from.
Es como te digo,
Let's skip over that.
I mean, como que, I hope that the city would have an input in it, you know, they're the ones that.
You know, I would think is their people, because they're gonna pay for it.
Right.
El papá ya trabaja en el...
Unless que sean, no, pero no, they would.
Pero pues todas son de la misma
Son
familia.
hermanas, ¿eh?
Sí, ya sabes todo.
¿Eh?
El commissioner sabe todo.
¿Quién
Son hermanas,
tú?
digo.
Que las tres son hermanas.
Yo creo que se ha muerto Pino.
Este no es tío. Cárdenas.
¿Quiénes son esos Cárdenas?
No, son de aquí en Puebla, ¿no?
¿Eh?
Yo pensaba que vivían aquí en Puebla.
Yo pensé que estaba muerto,
Pero
pero no está vivo, trae el espíritu.
We can find out.
You're bad.
Let's skip over 17 and go to 18. This is a donation of $300 to the food pantry precinct 2.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items 19 through 25 are budget amendments, Mr. Pettis.
Yes, those are all in order, we recommend they get approved.
Motion approved.
Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. If it's okay with the court, I'd like to go into executive session to have a discussion on 26 before we can come back to that, and also to discuss the items in executive session. Is it okay?
Okay.
So it is 10:35 and pursuant to section 551.074, we will go into executive session to discuss order salaries and the billing claim, the ASO billing claim.